Well, hello everyone. Unfortunately, the past month we've had some wonderful weather, um, and we've had some sunny days down in the south of the United Kingdom. Lucky for them that they got over 40 odd degrees, and further up the country they got up to 40 odd degrees. That's great, but at the end of the day, we still have people shouting on about climate change, climate change, climate change, climate change. What I find out about climate change is that basically, guys, humanity can do all they bloody want about climate change, and nothing's going to change. Nothing. Because God is in control. Now, you'll find that, yes, I'm shouting that three-lettered word again, God. God is, was, and always will be. He created everything. And I don't care if you're a man thinking you're trapped in a woman's, that you're a man and you feel as if you're a woman trapped in a man's body, or a woman trapped in a man's body. Yeah. The problem I've got is it's bogus. It's completely and utterly bogus. That under God's 10 commandments is classed as sin. If you want to sin, go ahead. But the difference is, if you do not repent of that sin, then you go straight to hell. So, folks, understand that every thing that you could possibly do in your life could change the direction of where you're going. If you ask God into your life, then you could easily go to heaven. That's right. You could go to heaven if you actually ask God into your life and live a God-filled life, a Christian life. That's right. Anyway, let's get to what I came out to record anyway. Because last time I was on, nearly a month ago, I recorded a video about 12 nations getting £1 trillion a month over the following year after we get to that specific point. That's right, after we get to that specific point, after we make 12 trillion and we start doing that on a regular basis. Now, when I see the investments going over 1 million or 100,000, which hopefully could start happening come the beginning of September, if tomorrow's meeting goes extremely well, because I'm sick of living the way I'm living at the minute. Hand to mouth. Hand to mouth gets you nowhere. And when I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, and the other half of the equation isn't doing their bit, you get to feel as if you're in a trap. That's right, a trap. You feel as if you're in a trap, you can't get out of the situation, and you're not going to go anywhere. So you know, when we get all these different things going and we get what could so easily over 12 countries in Africa, Australia, Canada, US and the UK, and we get the farmers going, and we have 1,141 farms going all at once in one country. Times that by 15, you end up having over 16,000 farmers doing what it needs to be doing. And that will be the way it will go, because hopefully we'll get a good bit of land while all these farms, especially in Australia, we'll get an awful lot of farmland, hopefully. In America, we'll get an awful lot of farms. UK, we'll possibly not get as much land, but in Africa we'll possibly get an awful lot of land to go with the farmers. So hopefully, let's hope I don't have to pay over the odds to get it. You know, the best part of these farms is it's going to bring money in, and it would help eventually with the tithes, the 10% heading towards the church when the church is getting itself sorted out and everything else, and we get the buildings and we're out there in front of everybody 3 times a day, 3 hours every episode, and on the morning of the 34th day we could easily be doing our 100th show. That's right, 100th show. So, you know, that to me is quite something. On our 67th day we would be in our 200th show, and eventually on our 100th day we would have done 300 shows after 100 days. There's 2 other bits of information I want you to understand. From tonight is 110 days from my wife being 70. That's right, 70. So that's 70. That's what God many years ago said man would live to. And then in 232 days me and my wife have our 10th wedding anniversary. So we're a good third of the way through our 10th, towards our 10 years of married life. So with that in thought, we'd see exactly how things are going to go. I'm just going to pause this video for a minute and I'm just going to move somewhere else. So when we're making all these millions, and the church is making roughly about 50 billion a month, we can actually move forward on those sort of scenarios. As soon as we get up to the investment making serious money, that is when our investment entitlement via the church will be able to be vastly increased. That means is the more money we get in, the more money we can put out. So, you know, we'd be looking at the church eventually building up to 100 billion. So we could eventually put a whole load of money into different projects on a monthly basis. Hopefully eventually when we get to a certain point we will be able to start throwing money, because eventually when our investments gets up to a number of trillions of pounds and we just pull money away to carry on for the next month for the trading, we would end up having a stash of cash, and that money would be over £1 trillion a day. That would be over £1 trillion going in either to the British economy or what we will be doing as a whole. We would actually work things on pounds to whatever currency we will be in, because hopefully we'd end up having a few islands where we could actually stock certain things up in case we needed it, so we could go and get it supplied for when a Pacific time comes, because we are going to need the fuel, the oil, the spare parts, because everything needs to be repaired after a certain length of time, and that's what we would need to keep doing. We would need to keep on repairing different things. So when we are throwing out trillions of pounds a day, that would become as a debt. You know, we could easily throw money out to certain countries to get them debt free, but then they would have to pay back what they've borrowed off us to get them out of debt. And also over that period of a year they would also have to pay back what we've spent in that year, because, you know, everybody is out to make interest on some people, whereas when I have that £1 trillion or trillions of pounds in my back pocket, I don't have to put up any interest, because I have a fundamental system that would be working efficiently, and quite efficiently it would be working, because no sooner would 1 month go and there will be the stock of cash again ready for the next month, and it will go on and on and on, year after year, until this particular time comes, and then we'd end up throwing money. We would end up having money there for what we would need, because nobody else would need it, because they would be under someone else's rule rather than God's rule. And halfway through, I can't see that happening. So technically, I would say I've got about 2 years to faff on. We haven't got time to muck about, and you know, we would need to resource different things at all times. I would have to, even though I'd be busy throughout the day making sure everything else is getting dealt with, I would still have to be on the pulse on what's going on throughout the day in different parts of the world. So if that was a disaster, I could respond quickly. But as I keep on saying, I would be there controlling the money, and I would say, well, look, there's so much to do what you've just said you want, and there's enough money for that and enough money for that. But we, you know, we can't just keep on allowing countries and countries and countries to spend all that money and get absolutely nowhere, because that's exactly where we are right now. Right now, we've just come out of a pandemic. Our economies around the world are collapsing, not just because of the Ukraine-Russian war. Now, many people in Europe would say, well, the United Kingdom's economy is collapsing due to Brexit. It is not. It is because of other political rubbish that's going on around the ruddy world. And real strike people going on strike because of this. Other people, you know, lorry drivers aren't getting paid enough. Everything comes down to money. You know, people likes of me right now have actually got to understand that even when railway lines aren't being used, it still bloody costs money to run them, even though there's no bloody trains on them. It costs money when people are putting electric bills up for their customers. It costs money to do that. They're saying money away for that. It is completely and utterly ridiculous what is going on right now after a pandemic. Now, Sleepy Joe Biden across the pond in America, he would say, well, it's due to this, that and the other. It's not. It's got nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with anything. It is because people are wanting too much of this. That's right, too much of this. And when I'm rubbing my fingers together, that means they're wanting more money. So at the end of the day, people on the bottom are suffering. Just like we did during the miners' strike, when some of us kids couldn't go to bloody school because the miners were on strike. Because teachers weren't going to get paid because of certain people. Just because the miners, you know, coal mining was one of the biggest industries in this country. Yes, alright, it might have been polluting the world as far as some people were concerned. But there's still people demonstrating about climate change. We have getting rid of coal in certain aspects of the world today. We still need to use coal for certain things. But people are saying the world is heating up. Yes, it is, because it's supposed to. It's one of the signs of God coming back, of Jesus Christ coming back. It's the sign. You cannot do anything about it. And yet, there's only one way to stop what is going on right now, and asking God to forgive your sin and to repent before Him. And I mean everybody in the world. Everybody. We cannot have another Babylon. But we will. We will. It's history repeating itself. And mankind cannot get its head around history repeating itself. That's what prophecy is all about. That's what Daniel prophesied about. The end time coming. The end time coming. Final judgments. We're not quite there yet, but the judgments are there right in front of you. Why can't anybody say it? Anyway, I've gone on long enough. We're going to see you in the next video. I don't know when I'm going to get the time to do that just yet. I'll hopefully try and get one done sometime in August. The football season has just started on from League 2, League 1, Championship. Premier League starts next week. While I'm making this video, England women are playing the German women in the World Cup final. Good luck to England, by the way. It's time we beat the Germans again and show them exactly who was best. But like everything else, even when the Germans get beat, they think they're better. Bye bye for now.